guys, it's Ty and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to go ahead and talk about the 4 holiday romance novels that I read in the month of December. And 3 of these books I actually got last December and I never got a chance to read them. So I wanted to make it a priority to get through them this December. And then one of them I got in my recent December book of the month box. So I wanted to make sure I got through that one this month as well. And for the most part, I enjoyed all of these. I did rate 2 of these books a 3 stars, one of them a 4 stars, and then the other one a 5-star. And that 5-star book was actually a surprise for me because I did not expect to enjoy it as much as I did. So what we'll do is go ahead and start with our 3-star books and then work our way up to that 5-star read, and we'll go ahead and get started. So the first book that I'm going to start with is The Royal Holiday by Jasmine Guillory, and this is actually the 4th book in a series. I believe that series is called like the Wedding Date series. And when I picked this up last year, I did not know that this was a part of a series. I believe I've been seeing those books around, but it never occurred to me that they were all a part of a series. I just picked this up on a whim because it was a holiday romance and that was what I was in the mood for. So, but I will say that reading this, I didn't feel lost or confused or thought that I was missing any sort of information by reading this. And I think that has to do with the fact that the main character in this one is just a side character from the main series. So in this book, we are following the mother of the main character. So we are following Vivian. And her daughter, Maddie, has invited her over to England because Maddie is going to England because she is a stylist and she has been tasked with styling the Duchess. And because Maddie and Vivian have not spent the Christmas holiday apart from each other, Maddie decides to invite her mother, and Vivian reluctantly agrees to go because Vivian has been dealing with some things with her job and she's not really one of those people that takes a lot of vacations, but she decides to go. And while she is in England, she is actually introduced to Malcolm, who is the private secretary to the Queen. And we basically follow Vivian and Malcolm as they get to know each other while Vivian is spending her Christmas vacation there. And once Maddie and Vivian's time is up over in England, Vivian decides that she is going to extend her trip through the new year so that she can spend some extra time with Malcolm. And that is basically what the story is about. This is very insta-lovey. They end up falling for each other very quickly because they are only in England for about maybe a week and a half, not even quite 2 weeks. And nothing, for the most part, in my opinion, too much happens. We are just following them as they are sightseeing through England, as they are going out to lunch and dinner, as they are going to parties at the palace, and that is pretty much it. There are some personal things that is going on with Vivian and her job, and then Malcolm is dealing with some personal things with his nephew. But besides that, there is no other drama between them. And I am somebody that likes a little drama in their romance novels because I like the making up part, and we just don't really get that in this. And the one thing that I will say that I really appreciated about this story is that our 2 main characters are in their 50s, and I don't really read romance novels with characters that are older. I typically read romance books with characters that are around my age or a little bit younger. So I really did like to see that in this story with characters that were really mature. So I like that. But other than that, I just thought this was fine. I thought Malcolm and Vivian were fine. I thought the other side characters in here were fine. I thought their romance was fine. I just really didn't think this book really stood out to me. It was one of those books where I felt like when I was reading it, I was enjoying it for what it was, but once I was done with it, I kind of forgot about it. So I do feel if you are currently reading this series, I would pick this up. It does give you all those holiday feels. If you are somebody that is just looking for a romance, you might enjoy this. I would say pick it up, give it a shot. You might like it. But other than that, I just thought it was fine. The next book that I want to talk about is The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox. And this was my December book of the month pick. And this follows our two main characters who are identical twins by the names of Charlie and Cass. And so Charlie lives in LA and she is a pastry chef and she is a co-host on a TV show called Sweet and Salty. And so one day while she is on set, she ends up getting a concussion, which causes her to lose her sense of taste and smell. And because of this, she is unable to perform her job duties, which she is really upset about because she has been trying to get another co-hosting job. Not co-hosting job, she's trying to get a hosting job on a different show. And she decides to ask her sister Cass to switch places with her so that she won't lose her chance of getting that job. And so Cass ends up coming to LA to work on the show, and then Charlie ends up going to their hometown, Starlight Peak, and works at the bakery for Cass. And so essentially they are switching lives. And so they're only supposed to be doing this for maybe like a week and a half or so, all the way up until Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve is supposed to be the day that they are supposed to be switching back. And so a lot of chaos ensues. And so they both end up causing a lot of drama in each other's lives. They end up falling head over heels for two different guys as the other person in each other's lives. And so it is a hot mess. And so that is basically what this story is about. I ended up rating this book a 3 stars. I thought it was fine. It's really funny because while I was reading this, I was really enjoying this. But as I got to a certain point in this book and I was really starting to sit back and think about it, there were some little aspects of it that didn't really sit too well with me the more and more I thought about it. But I do think this is another one of those books, like I thought with The Royal Holiday, that really gave you the holiday feels with the snow and with the talk of the holidays in this book. And it just really puts you in the holiday mood. If you are somebody that likes to read about people cooking and baking, it has a lot of that because we have Charlie, who is back in her hometown running a bakery, and then we have Cass, who's on a TV show where all they do is bake and cook. So if you are someone that likes to read about people cooking, this is definitely going to be a book for you. And we have a lot of romance in this book. This is very insta-lovey though, and that is one of another kind of issue with me. I thought the romance in this book was fine. Again, we have a situation where this book is only taking place within like a couple of weeks time frame, and these characters are like in love within like a couple of days, and at a certain point, you know, it stops being believable. So I mean, you have to kind of take that for what it is. So for that, I mean, the romance was fine. I enjoyed the characters. They were fine. One of the things that kind of I had an issue with was essentially, you know, I like the concept of the sisters switching places. That's something that I enjoy. But, you know, you kind of expect that from characters that are younger. At one point, they do mention their age, and I think they said that they were like 28. And so when they switch lives, essentially you're lying to the people that you're around. And so when they do start to, you know, tell people exactly what's going on and what they were doing for like the last week, I kind of feel like everybody just accepted it for what it was and nobody got angry. And I just don't feel like that's a believable reaction, especially with the guys that they were falling so in love with. Like, nobody got angry. And it's like, you guys have been deceived for like a week and a half. You thought that you were in love with someone else for a whole week, even though, I mean, yeah, they're identical twins, but still you thought that you were falling in love with somebody else. So you're okay with finding out that that's not who you liked? Maybe my logic is wrong, but I just felt like everybody in their lives was just okay with what was happening. So that just didn't make sense to me. And I also felt like this book kind of dragged towards the end. It was a few chapters too long when we got to the end, which is weird because this book is not really that long. but some stuff towards the end I just felt like we didn't need. There was some inner dialogue we didn't need with them, coming to terms with what they were finding out about themselves, because we had Cass, who is, not as confident, and she found her confidence living in Charlie's life. And then we had Charlie, who loved being in the spotlight, and now she's kind of still likes being in the spotlight, but maybe she found out that LA really isn't the place for her, and now she wants to move back home. And so we have both of the twins really trying to figure out what they want in life, but I just felt like it was taking a lot of pages for them to figure that out. And so it just kind of dragged at the end. So for the most part, again, I gave this 3 stars. I thought it was fine, which is, again, weird because I was really liking this at one point, and then it just kind of got away from me. But I think a lot of people will like this. I was reading a lot of reviews on Goodreads, and a lot of people kept referring to this as like a Hallmark movie, and I think they're right. This does kind of read like a Hallmark movie. So if you're somebody that likes those really cheesy Hallmark movies, I think you would really like this. And maybe this would be better as like a movie and not a book. But I thought this was fine. It was cute. It was, if you're looking for a good like holiday romance and you just need something that's quick and give you those holiday feels, I would check this out. So the next book that I want to talk about is In A Holidaze by author duo Christina Lauren. And so this follows our main character by the name of May Lynn. And so one day, while she is at the cabin with her family, who she actually spends her Christmas vacation with, not only her family, but another family that they have been spending Christmas vacations with ever since she can remember, she has been having a secret crush on a boy from the other family by the name of Andrew. And while they are leaving from this particular time at the cabin, she is in the car with her family on the way back to their home in California, and they end up getting in a car crash, and she ends up waking up on the plane headed back to the cabin that she just left from. So it's kind of like a groundhog situation where she keeps reliving the same week over and over and over again, and she's trying to figure out why. And she finally figures out that maybe this is that chance that she has to finally let Andrew know that she is in love with him. So we are following May Lynn as she is trying to express to Andrew that she likes him. But we also find out during this time that his brother Theo has a crush on her as well. So there's like a love triangle going on. So this is a love triangle, Groundhog Day, holiday romance extravaganza. It's the best way for me to explain this. And I really like this. I thought this was hilarious. I enjoyed the romance in here. I liked the romance between May and Andrew. I liked whatever was going on between May and Theo. I liked the side characters in here. I liked the family dynamic in here between May's family and then Andrew and Theo's family. I liked a lot of what was going on in here. The one thing that I wish we could have gotten more in here, like I said, it is like a Groundhog Day situation where things happen to where she is getting sent back in this like time loop, and she has to keep reliving like the last few days over and over again, but she only gets like sent back in this loop a few times. And I kind of feel like if we're going to use that we could have used it continuously. Like we only use it a few times. I wish we could have used it a little bit more, but that didn't really take away my enjoyment that much. I just wish we could have used it a little bit more. But I thought May was hilarious. There is a side character in here who is an older gentleman. He's a friend of the family, and his name is Benny. And I loved Benny and May's relationship in this story. And I just really liked everything that was like going on in this story. And this really gave you like the holiday feels. So I feel like out of the books that I've read from Christina Lauren so far, they have yet to disappoint. And so I think this one came out last year maybe, and I can't say enough about this. I just really enjoyed this. And I did read this one on, or I did listen to this one on audiobook, and I would definitely say check this one out on audiobook because this was a good time. So the next book that I want to talk about is The 12 Dates of Christmas by Jenny Bayless. And so in this book, we are following our main character by the name of Kate, who is basically on her last leg with dating. And so she has actually gotten talked into joining this website by her best friend. And on this website, you are basically set up to go on 12 different dates around the city with 12 different guys. And so she gets set up to do that. And so we are following her on these 12 different dates. And each of the chapters in this book is those 12 different dates. And so while we are watching her go on these dates, we are also watching her as she navigates her relationship with her best friends, her relationship with her on and off friend Matt, her relationship with her parents, and all of the drama that ensues with these dates. I loved everything about this book. I loved watching her go on these crazy wild dates and seeing her get paired up with all these crazy matches. I loved the holiday feels that this book gave me. I loved seeing her relationship with her friends, her best friend, her on and off best friend Matt, her parents. Her mother was absolutely crazy. Her father was a sweet old man. I loved everything about this. The romance in here, it was giving it to me. I loved the drama because I love me some drama in the books. I freaking loved this. I also listened to this on audio, and this did not disappoint. I don't have anything bad to say about this book. I did not think that I was going to really like this. I ended up picking this up on a whim. This don't even look like something I would like, but I loved this. I don't know how much I can sing this book's praises. This was so good. This was funny. There were parts about this that left my mouth hanging open. I loved the relationship between Kate and Matt. Some of her dates were freaking fantastic. Some of them were jerks. Some of them, oh my gosh, I just thinking about this, I could like listen to this, read this again. Like, this was amazing. This, if I was thinking about what I would want in a holiday romance, this is everything that I would want. If you are somebody that is looking for like all of those holiday feels, this is going to give it to you. I'm telling you, this was a 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this. Like, I'm just speechless for even trying to tell you like why I really enjoyed it. It just had everything that I was looking for. Out of all these books that I've read, granted it wasn't a lot, but out of all of those that I read, this had everything that I was looking for. Out of all of those, this had it in there. And she had another book that just came out this year, because this one actually came out last year. But this author had another one that came out this year, and I didn't get it. But I'm for sure going to read it next year. And if she comes out with another one, another Christmas book next year, I'm going to read that one too. I really enjoyed this. This was great. This ended my little romance kick, my little holiday romance kick on a high note. I would definitely recommend The 12 Dates of Christmas. Well, that is all that I have for you guys, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.